Hey guys, this is Sam Geek, and today I'm going to be talking about Call of Duty Ghosts campaign. Now, I just completed the campaign on my PlayStation 3, and I have very mixed opinions on it, because there's a lot of good things in Call of Duty Ghosts campaign, which tend to be the dog missions, the fighting underwater, and the space battles. Like, there's a lot of interesting things in Call of Duty Ghosts, but unfortunately, this is the longest Call of Duty game. Now, usually I love long games. I usually love, these 10-hour, maybe 15, 20-hour games. But Call of Duty Ghosts is 10 hours long. Now, that would be cool if it was 10 hours of amazing stuff, but there's not 10 hours of amazing stuff. It's 10 hours, pretty much, 8 of the 10 hours is just non-stop, cover-to-cover, shooting people over and over and over. I mean, there's really nothing to break up the monotony. There's a couple of things now and then, like pole vaulting off the side of a building and stuff like that, but there's really not enough of it. I mean, it's seriously maybe like 2 hours of anything besides shoot, 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 cover, shoot, 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 cover, move forward, move forward, move forward, and that's it. And like, it sucks because there is a lot of cool ideas in the Call of Duty Ghost campaign. Like the Riley missions, I felt like there was just not enough of the dog in the game. I mean, for as much of a spectacle as they made it out to be at E3, there's just not enough of the dog. And I mean, it's easily the strongest aspect of the game. And I have to ask why they wouldn't embrace that. I don't know. It feels like they only added so much of the game to address the issue of the fact that Call of Duty campaigns have been extremely short. I mean, Modern Warfare 3's campaign was 4 hours long. Black Ops 6 at best. Like, this is the first 10-hour Call of Duty I've ever played, and I just wish it was 10 quality hours, as opposed to 2 great hours and 8 mediocre ones. I mean, there is a lot there. Like, it is a lot of content. But I feel like a lot of the missions are just forgettable. The characters are just forgettable, too. Now, let's go into the story aspect of it. I feel that none of the characters were particularly strong and were incredibly generic. And I feel like the story plot itself was just a ripoff of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Like, the entire story was very reflective of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I mean, you have the father-son element in it, and you have the flashbacks. Like, there's only one flashback in Call of Duty Ghosts. That's what I'll give it. There's only one. But there's still the flashback in there. And, I don't know, it felt more like a Black Ops game than, say, a Modern Warfare game. Which may be a relief to some, but at the same time, like, I just felt like when the dog is the strongest character in your game, maybe you need to put a little bit more time into story development. I felt no attachment to any of the characters to the point where I only remember 2 characters' names, and this is after playing a 10-hour long game. I can remember Riley, which is the dog, and I believe, man, I can't even remember anyone else. I really can't remember any of the characters' names in the game. Rourke, the villain, Rourke. Like, it's mind-boggling how generic that how the story was. In terms of gameplay, it's Call of Duty. I mean, it's straightforward, linear run and gun. I felt like it held your hand a lot less this time. I mean, it's a much more difficult game than Black Ops 2 was, and Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 3, and Modern Warfare 2. It is easily one of the most difficult Call of Duties aside from 4 and 2 in this franchise. And it does not hold your hand as much as previous ones. In fact, there's not even a tutorial level like there was in previous games. And I felt like those are welcome changes, but at the same time, I feel like it was all just boring. It almost, like, even though there was no tutorial, it felt like the entire game was a tutorial, because you kept doing the same things over and over and over again. And I feel like when people say Call of Duty is the same stuff over and over again, like this is the one where it seems like it's the most accurate. because this literally reminds me so much of Black Ops 2. And Black Ops 2 had a lot more exciting moments in it, like when you're running on the horse, and like even that I felt like was a bad story, and that I gave like a 5 out of 10, I believe. And the gameplay aspects of this are a lot better. Like the game plays better, the game feels better, but I still have a lot of the same issues. Like, if you're going to pick a gun for this game, if you're going to run around with a gun, you're not going to want to use a shotgun or a sniper. You're going to want a gun with the most ammo that can deliver the most rounds. So you're either going to want an automatic weapon or a machine gun. Everything else feels like crap when taking down literally hundreds of enemies coming towards you. And I feel like Call of Duty just needs to break up the monotony. I mean, it's just nonstop action, 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 action. Like I felt like there was two space levels in the game. If one of those space levels was like you alone, and there was like no action going on, and you had to like figure out how to do stuff before before the federal, whatever the heck they call it, the feds, where before they destroy everything, you have to like dismantle the ship and you're all alone. I felt like if it was more like a Gravity, like if you've seen that new movie Gravity, if it was more that type of situation, it would have been interesting. But no, it was balls to the walls, shooting up hundreds of your enemies before trying to calculate the space thing. It was all really fast paced. I feel like with space they had a lot more freedom that they didn't really explore. And don't get me wrong, space combat was fun. Like accelerating up and down, shooting with the jetpack against other people on jetpacks was awesome. But I felt like they maybe could have added one or two more space levels in there, or they could have had a slower like atmosphere to it, or something that's not so just complete chaos. I feel like this game just had too much of that, and it just got boring. When chaos gets boring, there's something wrong. Well, let's hope Call of Duty Ghosts 2 gets better. Although I don't like any of the characters, I hope the writing gets better, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, Samuel out.